Next up is the final round of the Lotus Cup UK. Let's catch up with some of the main contenders. Are you going to be playing it safe today, or are you going to just be going all out?
Well, the plan is to play it safe, but you never know. Once the red lights go off and the red mist descends, I'll probably be racing.
Where are you hoping to finish today?
Well, it'd be nice to get on the podium. I managed to qualify on pole, which was good, but there's some quick guys out there. But podium would be good.
And to win overall, where do you have to come?
Basically, have to finish.
So you've got a pretty good chance today?
I hope, yeah. Well, in theory, yes. So as long as I don't, you'll throw it off or anything silly.
You've got all to play for. How are you going to approach it today?
Very carefully. Stay on the circuit, tight little circuit. One mistake and it all goes down the bin. So just play carefully.
Where are you hoping to finish?
First.
Obviously. Steve, the championship's nearly there. How are you going to approach this one?
Carefully. We've seem to have a little bit of an engine problem, so it's breathing a bit heavily. So nice and easy, I think, is the way to go. Try and get to finish.
Do you reckon you're going to make it first?
Well, the trouble is the plan always goes wrong, so we're going to take it easy. But as soon as we get out there, red mist comes, we'll go for it.
You're hoping to come top of your 211s?
I think Mark's going to be hard to beat today, but certainly we'll push hard and see what happens.
Mark, you're in pole position. Are you going to play it safe today or just go all out?
I think you've always got to go all out to a certain extent. These boys aren't going to give me any time. But it's an hour race. Got to get to the end first, and we'll see. You've got to get through back markers as well. So there's an element of caution, but you've got to go flat out as well.
Have you been having any problems with your cars, or is everything okay so far?
Touch wood, the car's been absolutely fantastic. So I'm hoping that continues.
It's time now for the final of the Lotus Cup UK. The drivers have it all to play for. It's going to be a fantastic race. Let's see who takes that crown.
Thanks, Amy. This promises to be truly dramatic. It's been a superb debut season, really, for the Lotus Cup UK. We've had full grids and very exciting racing across the classes throughout the season. And we come into the finale with the championship still very much up for grabs as the cars head off on their formation lap. It's a rolling start in Lotus Cup UK, so it's the pace car that will be leading them around, with Mark Fullerlove in pole position, just weaving around, getting a little bit of heat into those tyres. Although it's very sunny here at Brands Hatch today, it is late October, a little bit chilly. So it's Mark Fullerlove on pole position. Alongside him it's the Fens, with younger Fen Rob, who starts the race. Glenn Sherwood starts in the 47 car, and Steve Williams in car 18 in fourth. Marcus Jewell well up in fifth position. It's going to be a very exciting run towards Paddock Hill Bend for the first time asking. And here we go, the red lights go out, and the cars rush away from the line on towards Paddock, when they will plunge downhill. But Fullerlove has converted that pole into the early advantage, although Rob Fenn is staying right on his tail. Everybody cleanly through. Also Steve Williams making a good start, as has Glenn Sherwood, with then Simon Deacon, I think it is, just trying to squeeze past Sherwood through Druids. Bang there for somebody, and that is Frank Matthews who goes off. But given the bang we heard, I think he may well have had a little bit of assistance. He rejoins with no harm done, though, as everybody's cleanly through Graham Hill Bend, looking to challenge the car of Doug and Chris Setters through Surtees, the production class cars, meanwhile streaming through en masse. Mark Fullerlove trying to pull out an early lead over Rob Fenn, who's now got Steve Williams to worry about. Williams in the yellow 211 looks to the outside, and Rob Fenn, who squeezes him towards the outside at Paddock Hill Bend. That's good defensive driving from Rob. He kept it clean, kept it fair, but Steve is going to look to challenge up the hill towards Druids. He makes the early bit to the inside. He's got the inside run here. Surely he's going to go through, although Rob Fenn keeping his foot in around the outside, plunging down the hill. Inside Rob Fenn, we go over the curbs. It's all arms and elbows, as you can see, en route towards Graham Hill Bend, and that means that Marcus Jewell now takes his turn to challenge Rob Fenn, and he's going to possibly mount his bid as they accelerate on towards Surtees. It's Jewell to the inside, and through he goes up into third position. Again, Rob Fenn working the wheel, seesawing away. Possibly got a misvocation as a lumberjack, the way that he is really just working that car's handling through clearways, but he's got a good run now onto the Rowland Straight. I don't think it's going to be quite close enough to challenge in towards Paddock Hill Bend. Those 211s have really quite excellent straight line speed, and the car of the Fens just can't quite stay with Marcus Jewell. But instead he gets a good run through. Paddock climbs the hill towards Druids. He's got the inside line. Marcus Jewell squeezes him, though. He squeezes him so tightly, could barely fit a piece of paper between the two cars at the apex at Druids. But it's still Jewell in third, Rob Fenn in fourth. Down through the gears, Graham Hill Bend. It's the production class as ever, a very lively battle, and that is where our championship protagonists are racing. Steve Quick and Ken Savage. Savage just has to finish. Really, Steve's got to rely on misfortune for Ken to strike. Back into this fight for third and fourth, and again a super run through Paddock Hill Bend from Rob Fenn. That was the light riding car with him climbing up the hill towards Druids. Marcus Jewell wise, this one nice and early, covering the inside, but then he runs wide at the apex, and that's going to give Rob Fenn an opportunity on the squirt down towards Graham Hill Bend. Let's look to the left of the screen. Are we going to see the 211? Yes, we are. Here's Marcus Jewell. He retains his line and just about holds on to the position, but then if he runs wide, that could give Rob the opportunity to fight back, but he can't quite do it. This is one of the best showings we've seen in the season from Marcus Jewell. As the Fens and the Go Green Motorsport car have gone better and better, and now into third. Here goes Rob Fenn up the inside at Clearways. Really nice move in the event. Now can he pull away from Marcus Jewell and try and get back onto terms with Steve Williams, who's taking the opportunity to somewhat sprint up the road ahead of him. It's still Mark Fullerlove, of course, who is leading the race as the rest of the field now stream through. Good battle here between Glenn Sherwood and the Exige of the setters. Also good to see another 340R on the grid. That black car is Mark Gooday, who moves the inside of the blue machine of David Harvey and gains the place through Paddock as this gaggle of cars climbs the hill with Glenn Sherwood, Jamie Stanley's driving partner, ahead of that queue. And they all safely negotiate Druids and then accelerate back down the hill. Jonathan Mobson is putting the pressure on to David Harvey in the 340R. Always good to see the 340R out here in these Lotus Cup UK races. Very unusual looking car, but its agile handling really does lend itself to the Brands Hatch Indy circuit as Tom Chataway in the white 211 looks to make a move up the inside. Not really an awful lot of room there for Tom. He's a feisty competitor, but the combat laser gains machine covers the line, so Tom's going to have to challenge a little bit further around the lap. Likewise, we've got a challenge possibly from Mark Gooday, looking to the inside of the Paul McNeely BJ John Fox car. Around the outside it goes, it maintains its position, and then is just able to move across and cover the line into Druids. Just looking inside the cockpit there, I think it's Paul McNeely who's driving this first stint, as Mark Fullerlove accelerates through, completes the lap. And then we've got Steve Williams in second position, and look at this, Rob Fenn has reeled in Steve Williams again. This is a great drive from Rob, he's flinging the cars through the corners and has got back onto terms with Steve Williams. Steve, who prepares so many of the cars in the grid as well. These Lotus racing weekends, he is flat out in the garage until it's time to go out and race. When he pops his helmet on, promptly runs at the very head of the field. Through left-hander at Graham Hill Bend. Ben can't quite get onto the tail of the 211 this time around, and still look to follow his line through Surtees. One of the most enjoyable corners, I think, on the Brands Hatch Indy circuit for us, because you can't quite see the exit, you just fling it in at very high speed and then gradually slow the car down in time for the apex and clearways, and then just plant your right foot now for this run along the Bramham Straight. And again, Rob will be looking to use the slipstream coming from the tail of Steve Williams' car to mount his challenge in towards Paddock. Braking in towards Paddock Hill Bend, look at how much ground Rob Fenn closes up on the brakes. He probably took a car length or two out of Steve Williams. Well, talking of Steves, here's another one, that's Steve Quick, one of our championship contenders. He's just gone past Vittel Chauhan in the Silver Machine, and Dave Carr looking to try the same thing, but Vittel having none of that, and so Dave has to hold station, and all three of them are about to be lapped there by Mark Fullerlove, flashing his headlights, the race leader. Last thing he wants is to be waylaid by a fight from some of these production class cars. He's lost a little bit of time on this lap because he's only now able to accelerate past Dave Curry. Should be able to also get past Vittel Chauhan en route towards Paddock Hill Bend. And yes, he size up the inside now, arriving to the apex, but Steve Quick will have to wait until Druids. This has been an emphatic drive from Mark Fuller. When we've seen him this season, he really has been dominant, but Steve Quick decides to dispute it with him, closing the line through Druids. At least Mark's got the advantage of several seconds lead now, so he doesn't have to get too anxious about carving through some of the slow cars. Finally now, he puts the lap onto Steve Quick, who loses a little bit of momentum through Graham Hill Bend, namely Vittel Chauhan to close up onto his tail, and still Dave Carr is in attendance. Wherever you look through the field, in these Lotus Cup UK races. There's always a great dice going on as Dave Carr looks to the inside of Chauhan and goes through at Clearways. Great move there from Dave Carr, gaining the place and accelerating off in pursuit of Steve Quick. The pair of them were quite evenly matched in Lotus on Track Elise Trophy race saw earlier on, so the fight could go all the way to the flag. Although, of course, remember, Lotus Cup UK races are pit stop races. They would have to come in and serve the mandatory pit stop. We've got a spin, and it's Ken Savage, the championship leader, who's gone around at Druid. Oh, that's a near miss, and another car comes sliding in. It's Rob Fenn, and that is a very lucky escape from the pair of them. And Ken Savage, being in his original position, that would have been game over for the pair of them, and championship over from Ken Savage. He's rejoined the race. This is the last thing you want to do in the championship challenge. We've got the safety car out now. A couple of cars scattered around the circuit in slightly dangerous positions, so the officials taking the opportunity to slow the race down, get those cars moved to a place of safety, and then we can go racing once again. But the timing of this safety car is crucial because the pit window is only a few moments away, and all of that advantage that Mark Fullerlove had opened out over Steve Williams has now gone away again. So Mark, who did have several seconds, has now got about several feet over Steve. Now this is Steve Williams' opportunity to look to fight back. There's then quite a gap back to Rob Fenn in third with all the production cars, and that's Savage, and Savage, is that white smoke coming from the rear of the car? Let's see as he climbs for assurance. It is! So the championship leader in real bother here. White smoke beginning to pour from the back of that Elise. We're a few moments away from the pit window opening, and really he will want to try and nurse that car through to the pit window where they've got that 3-minute mandatory pit stop time, where the team can try and apply some TLC to the ailing Elise. That's just heartbreaking for Ken. He's worked so hard this season for championship success. Well, we're going for a break. We'll be back in a few moments' time to see whether Ken does make it to the pits.